Welcome to Mind Your Heart podcast, your favorite corner of the internet where we chat about all things mental health. I'm Emily.
And I'm Trina. Together, we're like your real life Lorelai and Rory Gilmore. Each week, we'll bring you real conversations about the world of mental health, and we will peel back layers on topics like anxiety, depression, and much more.
We're here to chat with you about the tough stuff, the everyday stuff, and everything in between. So grab your emotional support water bottle, I know we have ours, find your comfiest chair, or keep your eyes on the road, and let's get into it. Are you ready, Mom?
Absolutely. Join us as we mind our hearts and hopefully make minding yours a little easier. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Mind Your Heart.
Let's do something a little bit different today. I mean, we have in the past done like a check-in. Yeah. But I think that should be I feel like we had so much happen in the last couple of weeks. Actually,
Yeah.
it's probably been like a month now, right? Since we've
Well,
actually recorded.
yeah, because when we last recorded was longer than what we normally did because we started doing every other week. So I think it's been more than a month
Yeah,
for sure.
it's been a
Like
while.
I feel like it's been a couple of months.
Yeah, it does feel like it's been long. So I feel
Well,
like there's
it's
so much
been
to
since
share.
before Jake got laid off.
Oh, we even just discussed that. So we got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, as far as our listeners, they just heard our episode where we were talking about slang.
About
Slang.
slang?
Slang. Slang.
Slang.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Slang.
I thought you said slaying, like
Slang.
SLAYING, and I was like, slay.
Yeah. We could have put that word in there. Actually, if you
Yeah.
had put your own millennial words, because you're right on the cusp, but then it
Yeah.
would have gone
Zillennial.
better.
I'm a zillennial.
Zillennial, whatever.
I mean,
Generation
that's
X.
not a real thing. Zillennial. I think you have something in your tooth.
Oh, I do. Good thing this isn't on YouTube anymore.
Recording. Yeah.
Yeah. I even know which tooth it is.
No, it's on, yeah, that side. Yeah.
It's lettuce. All right, you can keep going while I try to figure this out.
Okay. Okay, so I guess that's the first thing I'll start with. Jake got laid off. That was a long process. He currently now has a job. So,
Good. I'm glad
that's
you told that. And you didn't
yeah,
leave him
yeah.
in suspense.
Yeah, which is really, really good. He got like it's basically a pretty big promotion. And it's with like it's a new avenue. He used to be working with the church. That's pretty much all he's ever worked for
Yeah.
is with different churches. And this step kind of led him to get out of that, which I am very excited about, and he's also very happy about. But it was definitely more of like there was resistance on his end
Yeah.
with that,
Because he feels called.
for sure.
He's got like a greater purpose and
Yeah.
he feels he's got service in his blood. So
Yeah.
he can't help that part. However, understanding exactly how he feels, not being called to a church, but feeling called to a profession that felt like in service of others
Yeah.
teaching. Um, I can understand. It's a really hard thing to let go of and to think about, how am I going to provide for my family or take care of myself or take care of my kids or take care of my wife and all those things.
Yeah.
And I think it's a beautiful thing that we have people that are willing to do jobs. I just wish that we would pay them more. I just wish that it
I
would
also
be,
don't think it's just the pay. Like I
I don't
think
think so
that
either. I think it's the mentality too. It's
yeah, the
very much the
culture
mentality.
is
And it's very much like we expect more, 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 and we're going to give you less, less, less. It really is a very broken mentality. And it's constantly, well, it's in the service of whatever. And
yeah.
in this case, it's in the service of God. And my case is in the service of the children. It's about the kids, always about the kids. I just went to a training yesterday um, because I like to stay current to what's going on, especially because I create resources for kids and for teachers. And they were talking about AI in the classroom, which, I had one-to-one iPads. I would have been all over this. This would have been this would have been like so fun for me. And
Yeah.
I'm listening to these trainings and they're like, and one of the first things they said was, well, we're doing it for the kids. And I was like, it was like nails on a chalkboard because every time people have to say that to you, that's why you're in it, is for the kids. You don't need to be reminded of that every single time. And when people say that,
Well,
they're getting ready to manipulate you or
yeah,
use you in some way.
it's kind of like when people are like acting racist and they're like, "Well, I have a black friend." Like,
Gosh.
it's like that similar, like where they're like trying to excuse whatever the bad behavior is with
Mm,
like the thing that is supposed to be the good part of it,
yeah.
almost.
Well,
Like where
it
it's
does
like,
feel manipulative.
okay,
It does feel like it's a manipulation tactic. And I don't know. I feel very turned off by
mhm,
that. I mean, that might be my own personal experiences, but I just feel like, I don't know. It just, ugh. So I am actually really happy. We don't have to keep harping on that point because I really could go on and on. But I'm really happy that Jake has found something that not only recognizes his exceptional talent, but compensates him
yeah,
fairly. And
yeah,
also, it's not even just about the pay. It's about like it's time to go. It's time to leave. I'm gonna honor your boundaries. You don't have to take this home with you. You don't have to, I don't expect you to be finished with this by tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, even though it's 5 in the evening. It's it's so refreshing. And also they gave him like, didn't they give him like a gift when he came as well?
they gave him like a massive gift bag. They've provided him with a laptop so like he doesn't have to use his personal one. Which
They
like
gave him the tools for the job.
I know, crazy. Crazy to
This
think
is
about
what I
that.
mean. Though,
Yeah.
like, I mean, as people that work in, nonprofit
Yeah.
or in public, whatever, or churches, they don't get the tools for the job. They're expected. I remember showing up at a media specialist as a new media specialist in a Title I school that had funds, because they were Title I, they had, more money on funds. And I had zero crayons, zero pencils, no paper. Yes, no staplers, no staples, no paper clips, nothing.
That's
And I'm
crazy.
like, what? And I had to have to teach classes all day. This is when I
Yeah.
was on the rotation. And I'm like, I don't, what am I going to do? They have to have crayon. I had to do a GoFundMe so that I could get essential
That's
supplies.
insane.
And
Yeah.
then they were like, you're not allowed to do a GoFundMe. And I'm like, well, you can come arrest me
Yeah.
because
What do you mean you're not okay? Well, then provide me with the tools I need.
yeah. They said I wasn't allowed, but I did it anyway, and it got sent to the school. I didn't try to hide it, and I got like tons of. And you know who donated? Nanny and Steve and Miss Sergi. Like those are the people that
Yeah.
basically donated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is my friends and family, and so oh well. I got the materials, and I had what I needed. There was no other way. I'm
Yeah.
like it's unbelievable to think that you would go to a job and they would not give you the tools you need. And that's one thing that I appreciate about, working for a company or I mean, even in like I don't know, what do you call it? Like in the trade industry,
Hmm.
they don't expect you to come to the job and like provide all of your own materials. I do think you have to build like a tool set or whatever, a toolkit, but they give you things in the meantime.
Hmm.
Maybe you want your own tools. I don't know exactly how that works, but why
They
I'm
still give you stuff, and then
they
if
do,
you
because
don't
I remember
want
Jackson got a lot of stuff when he
yeah,
went and worked on a job site. I was in shock when he came home with like multiple shirts, his hard hat, a koozie, a little stress hard hat that I love. I don't know where that thing is because I used to walk around with that thing constantly, and some
yeah, Jake
basic
got all
things.
that stuff too. He got a
Yeah,
hard hat, he got shirts, he got his vest, he got like all of his like PTE stuff, like yeah, all of it's like
yeah,
provided.
yeah. Even PTE, that's another example. Like during COVID, they provided us with I don't even think they did, or maybe they did one mask and And that was it. And you basically were expected to wear that mask over and over again. And because I did that, I got an infection on my nose and ended up having some kind of a cyst on my nose that now my nose at the tip of my nose is permanently deformed thanks to that. And it was crazy. I'm like, you're not going to buy us masks? We have to wear them. You're not going to buy them. It was so insane. And
Yeah.
hand sanitizer and oh gosh.
Yeah. So Jake got a new job.
Yeah. All right, back to the point. Jake
Yeah.
got a new job and they're taking care of him,
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
importantly. And he's happy.
Yes, this is it's his second week this week. Although like he literally started at like their busiest week. So they have like one of their biggest events that was happening this past week. Excuse me. So like he is tired from that. It's where he's working is like an hour drive from where we live.
Oh, didn't realize it was that far.
Yeah, it's far.
Where
But
is the location of his
in St. Pete.
okay, it takes an hour?
Hmm.
Wow. And
Yeah,
you have no future plans of moving to St. Pete.
not to St. Pete, but we're thinking about moving to Tampa at some point, which would be like about a 20-minute drive from
Okay.
where he is. So, um, yeah, but he's like it was like one extreme to the other because he was not working for almost 2 months.
Mm,
So he was home like trying to figure things out for that long, and now he was like it's like people overload.
yeah, yeah,
So, like he was only seeing me, Tebow, and Daisy for two
yeah.
months, and then it was like, here's the biggest event of our company that you're gonna have to talk to people and film and all this stuff. So he's tired, but
Yeah,
it's good. This week has been it's been busy. So
busy.
yeah, and he was sick his first week, like his orientation week, and we had just come back from New York.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too.
Yeah, and then I like was like I could feel my body like fighting to not get sick.
Yeah.
So like that whole week that we had gotten back, I was like really, really tired and like trying my hardest to not get sick. And then this week I ate or drank something bad after Pilates on Monday and was up for like hours in the middle of the night
Oh, that
releasing
is the
it all out.
worst.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
that
the
is the worst.
worst.
I hate that.
I
That's
haven't
happened to me.
puked like that
Yeah, yeah,
in years.
yeah.
And the next day, like the back of like my tongue and my throat were like
Sore. Yeah.
sore. Yeah.
Like
And I was like,
muscles, like you're
this
using
is
muscles.
so
Yeah.
wild. Like I'm like, this is such a weird feeling. And I said that to a couple people and they're like, yeah, like that happens like when you throw up. And I was like, it's just that you don't remember when you don't like I am not when I normally if I get like the flu, like I get the flu. But
Hmm.
like it is not common for me to throw
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Me either.
So
That's not a common thing for me either. I get
so
it.
it was like it was yeah, and then the next day and I had been up for like hours like just laying on the bathroom floor, so the next day I didn't do anything. I just like slept and I also like didn't feel like eating anything because I felt like crap. So it was just like a weird couple of weeks like physically health wise and then like mentally like Jake getting back into work and like just a lot of
That's
things.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot. I want to point out something because I thought it was so cool. Um, and that is like how great you were during the whole thing. You were like, I mean, talk about like being in awe of someone. Your patience and your faith was so obvious and so strong. Like you were like, nope, we got this. We're going to figure it out. I never saw you waver. Jake like immediately thought about going back to a church that had offered him a job previously that was lower pay than he was making, which is already bad enough. And you were like, nope, we're not going backwards. We've got this. We're going to keep moving forward. Something's going to come up. And you were just, it was such a beautiful thing to witness because I'm like, oh man, I mean, I spent a few days feeling really guilty about how I don't feel like I was that kind of support um in my past life. And I was like, although that person was like, no, you can check that off the list. You were a supportive wife. Um, because I felt like, oh my, I was scared. I was so
Yeah.
scared when any little thing, I mean, it's a totally different circumstance, but when any little thing happened, I was terrified. And I just thought, I mean, I feel like I'm better now. Now I'm
Mhm.
like, I'll jump and I'll do it and I'll take my chances. Um, in fact, Alexis told me recently that I liked taking risks. And I was like, what? Yeah. She's like, you like risks. I'm like, I do not like risks.
I don't know
But
about like risks, but you definitely are open to taking risks.
yeah, more than I used to be. I used to be so scared constantly and live in such fear. And
But you still did it anyways. Even like that's always something that I thought about you is that you're like you're open to taking risks for like what's right and like you're a justice seeker. So like that is like you'll go out of your way like whether it's scary or not and do it anyways. But
well,
continue.
thanks, baby. But I was really proud of you. I just felt like what a great, even I talked to Dex about it. I'm like, my brother, I'm like, can you imagine that having that kind of support? And he did. He said he's like that makes a world of difference. Like what a world of difference that makes for your partner. And it's just, I mean, you're giving them the freedom to like fail and figure it out without feeling, I mean, he's going to beat himself up enough, and I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, he was scared himself, like just himself. Like,
yeah,
I mean, like the getting laid off was like not something either of us saw coming. It was very like much like, whoa,
abrupt. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
And it
so
was also upsetting because it's friends and like part of
yeah,
your life
and it's still our church. Like we still attend the church.
mhm,
So like it was like emotional on different levels and like like one of my best friends like she worked there at the time and she was like, "Oh my God, like I can't believe that like he's not going to be there every day." And so yeah, it was definitely a lot. And then money wise, it was like he immediately was like, "Oh shit, like what do I do?" Because in our relationship, like he provides more financially than
mhm,
I do at the moment.
mhm.
And so I think he was like, what are we gonna do?" And I just felt like it was gonna be okay. Like I don't know, like and I also was like us like being scared and freaked out, like until something comes along, like isn't going to help
Yeah.
it
No,
come
but you really you stood strong in that
on.
because even I mean I even like I don't know if people know that you know also do work for me. Like you don't work for me, but you do like you're a
Yeah.
contractor that I hire or that I pay. And and I had to like lower the hours because things have been really rough and really hard. And I didn't want to. I was like, I'm just not going to. And you're like, you have to. This is
Yeah.
about your business.
Yeah.
And and you didn't even I don't know if you hung up the phone or got off whatever and cried, but
No.
you were like you're like, no, it's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. And it was like I never would have done that if it wasn't for you like switching out of like we're not talking about mom and daughter, we're talking about this is a business and this is a business decision and this is what's best for your business. And you're really good at compartmentalizing in that way, and I am like, no, I'll just be starving and I'll still be paying because I can't let you down or anyone else that you know it's you're just unbelievable. You wouldn't even waver at all. Like you were so steadfast in your faith. And that was just a very beautiful thing to witness.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was one thing I was saying to Jake actually last night, I was like, okay, I'm like tired. Like I need you
Yeah.
to fill me back up, please. Like I've
Yeah.
done a lot of supporting these past couple of months, so I would like a foot massage and some chocolate. Thank you.
Oh, oh man, foot massage. I miss foot massages.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
great. Okay, that's really great. So Jake's got a job. Jake's happy. Jake's doing well. You guys are just getting acclimated. So you went through some health issues, but things are on the mend. You're feeling better now? Or
yeah,
you're still kind of
I'm
like,
feeling better. I'm just like tired just
yeah,
because like I'm going to Peru in a couple of weeks. And I'm so excited. I cannot wait to do that.
yeah. I wish I
But
was going. Oh, I wish I was
I
going.
also the thing about being a business owner, which like you understand, but like maybe some people listening to this won't, is that like you don't like time off is
Hmm.
like you have to work double time
Yeah. Yep.
before you take time off. So I am like last night I was up till like midnight like finishing stuff for a client so that way like and today like normally I don't work on Fridays. Like Fridays is like not a day that I normally work, but like I've been working today and like will be working late tonight. So
Hmm.
that way I can prepare myself for Peru so that way all of my clients are taken care of and like all the work that like I would be doing during that time is just done ahead of time. So um that in and of itself is just it's just a lot.
It's a
Um
lot. No, I agree. I don't think people do realize that it's when you work on your own time, but
yeah,
it's like you do, but you still have to do it. Like you have to make
yeah,
because I have the same way because I'm going to London, Paris, and Ireland
yeah,
in the summer for
yeah.
several weeks, and I don't want to work. I don't want to work during that time, and that is right before the busiest time of the season for me, and that's
Mhm.
back to school. And so I'm like, is that a mistake? But I'm working like a dog right now so that I can go and actually just like
Enjoy.
enjoy and meet
Yeah.
a handsome Irishman. And
Yeah, but he
or
has to be
yeah.
willing to move here.
Well, we could.
You can't move to a different country right before I get married and then have a baby.
Oh, really? Well, no,
Well,
I
we can talk
know.
about this another time.
Yeah. Okay. How about if we like did some time splitting? Like we lived in
Okay.
Ireland for this amount of time and we lived in um
I could
America.
I could approve of that.
Okay.
Not
This is
that
good to
also
know. I
you
need
don't need
to
my approval because you can do whatever you want to do.
no, but I need to know this. I actually had this conversation with Jake when he asked for my blessing, and I was like, "Well, I might want to move to Ireland." And he was like, he was so supportive. Did you not know this story?
I did
Um,
not know this story.
okay, yeah. All right, never mind. That's a story for another time.
I mean, I want you to be happy ultimately, so
Well,
like
I know, and
you're-
I don't want to miss grandchildren. Like I don't want to miss that. There's a lot of it's so confusing for me right now because I honestly have been looking into like what it would take to
yeah.
relocate and
It's a lot.
Ireland is a little harder than
Yeah.
like Portugal is like
Portugal's
a
really pretty.
yeah. So Portugal is kind of on the list and so I've just been thinking and looking and whatever. But the thing that stops me is like I can't I'm like I don't want to be a grandma that's like, "Hi, sweetie," on a FaceTime. Like I want
I also
them
like still want to travel, so like it's not like we wouldn't like come see you. Like it would be an opportunity for us to travel. Obviously, like when they're like an infant, like there's
it's
boundaries
hard. It's
with
hard.
that.
And
Yeah.
you want five children. So
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, like that's
yeah.
what I've always thought I wanted, but like um again, like I've not had one child, so
Yes.
we'll
Yeah.
see what happens then. But yeah, I've always wanted a big family. So but I also like people do it. Like people still travel with kids.
No, you're right. You're right. People do.
And I don't want my life to stop like when I
Yeah.
have kids.
Yeah.
Like I have always said and like told Jake like whenever we have kids like I don't want to keep saying like oh we got to travel now while we can.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'll be able to travel unless I'm like deathly ill or something. Like there's no until we like can't like when
Yeah.
we have kids, like they will also travel with us. Like I want our lives to continue on when we have
Yeah.
kids too. And obviously that's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah.
But
Before you have the kids.
yeah,
Because
for
there's,
sure.
you totally want something. You're the best parent ever before you have kids. You're the
Yeah.
best version of what you think before you have them. And then you're like, oh my gosh, think it changes. I
Yeah.
think being realistic, like Jake, you're having like, well, let's think about, but also being like, no, our lives are not going to center around them. They're going to center around us.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a mistake that was made raising you, honestly.
Yeah.
You and Jackson, I've always felt that way. I'm like, we should have been focused on God and our relationship. That
Yeah.
should have been number one. And you guys should have intertwined with us. And our
Mhm.
whole world revolved around you two. And
Mhm.
that, I don't think that's not a healthy marriage. And
Yeah.
it's not, and also it raises entitled people.
Yeah.
I don't think you're entitled, but
Yeah.
it's it's it's
Yeah.
it's just not, I think
Yeah,
that's a
because the world
mistake.
doesn't revolve around really anyone. So, like, it shouldn't revolve around anyone from the beginning. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that and that's just always I'm like when people are like, "Oh, travel now while you're still can." I'm like,
Yeah. Well, you can just,
"Well,
people have their different opinions and you can, and that's something that you'll have, people will constantly give it to you,
yeah,
unsolicited advice before, and you can take what you want and leave what you don't want. And it's
yeah."
just, but anyway, so,
So, yeah, I'm working a bunch before Peru. And then
yeah,
I
me too.
also have this like wild opportunity that actually like very recently came up. My one of my friends that I met in Bali last year, she's a photographer and a content creator, and she's like basically like traveling all over the world and like working with different like hotels and activities and stuff
Cool.
to like get free opportunities to then like promote their stuff. And she is going to be in Morocco, and she was like, I need somebody to come with me to help me like be in the videos or like to
Yeah.
them or whatever.
And you're so
And
good at that.
basically, like, you would get like free stays in hotels and stuff. You would just have to cover your flights. And I was like, I'll do it. I'll come. And so that will be like the end of the first week of June and like this into the second week of June. So like it'll be like I'll be back from Peru for a week and then I'll go to Morocco.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but I was like, I can't, that's like a full body yes for me. Like, that's
Yeah.
something I want. That part of like where people are like, do it while you can, like the
Yeah.
last minuteness, like that is a do it while you can kind of thing to me.
Yeah.
Because like there will need to be more required planning for things later on. But I'm like, I can do that and like I would love to do that. So I like messaged her right away and I was like, yes, I want to do this.
So you're not getting paid. You're just getting the
No,
the stay.
I'm just getting this A. So I have
Just
to,
getting,
again,
yeah.
work. I'm basically working a whole entire month ahead,
Uh-huh.
and that's a lot.
Hard. No, that's
So,
that's kind
yeah.
of that's what I'm doing too, because I'm trying to get
Because I'm
I'm
taking
trying,
the 2 weeks off when I go to Peru. I'm taking 2 solid weeks
yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I'm like, the day before I leave, like, that's the start of the week. Like, I'm like not working then. And then when I get back, there's like a few days that I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
signing up to work because I remember when I got back from Bali, I was dead tired. That
Dead. Yeah,
was
I was just gonna say that. That is a
yeah,
huge life lesson
yeah,
because you want to make, when you return from places, you want to ease back into your work life and not have it slammed in front of you. So not, am I not only trying to get all of July situated, I'm trying to get of August situated as well. So that when I come back at the end of July, I'm not
yeah, cramming.
scrounging,
Yeah,
cramming everything in before August when I'm like, and also the jet lag and just the whole thing.
yeah. It won't
Um,
be as bad with Peru as it was with Bali because Bali was like a 12-hour time difference and the flight was like the whole travel time was like 35 hours. And Peru is not that long, and the time difference I think is like maybe an hour or two, um, if that even.
oh,
So
that's nice. Yeah, that'll be
yeah,
good.
so that won't be
So that won't be as bad. I
nearly
don't know
as
what
bad
Mark's
as
situation
Bali.
is. I don't, my flight is not as long as yours. It's still like over 12 hours, but it's
Yeah,
not
the one to
35.
Morocco is really long. That one's long. So that will be
35, that's more than Australia.
well,
That's
the whole travel time total.
oh,
So
okay. Okay.
it was like the first flight was like 11 hours, and then the second flight was like I think it was like 14. I don't know. It was like two really long flights, but like I had layovers in between.
Mhm.
So the total time I was traveling was 35 hours. But really like the flight like as a whole was probably like 22 hours.
Yeah,
It was
that's a lot.
long.
Anyway, so that's all coming up and that's exciting. And then what else has gone on? We on a trip to New
Yep, went
York.
to New York.
Actually, I have another thing, like a business thing to share since we are like in the business. I mean, not that
Yeah.
anyone can see this, but I published a book.
Wait,
Yay! I published my first book.
it's number three in kids and like
New noteworthy on like
yeah,
yeah
on
for
Amazon.
I think it's for not kids' birthday parties, but like it's a party. It's an idea that you could use for anyway. It's called Hilarious Would You Rather This or That Fun Writing for Kids. So it's basically a workbook for kids, but it has some really fun this or that or would you rather, and then kids respond. And it encourages them to write, it encourages them to draw, it encourages them to be creative. And so it's got 50 different prompts. And like one of the examples is this one is not as like a silly one, but this is like a would you rather go to an amusement park or to a water park?
Water park because we live in Florida and it's way too hot.
Yes, that's exactly what I would say. Here's more of a silly one. Would you rather hear a ringing in your ears all day or smell the smell of poop all day?
That's so hard because I feel like the ringing in my ears would give me a migraine and
Yeah.
that wouldn't be worth it to me. So I might choose the poop.
Yeah. So it's things like that. And so then they have to kind of tell why and they give
Yeah.
their whatever. And then at the end of the book, there's five would you rather create. And so then they get to choose like would they rather create but would they rather build a cat tower or would they rather create and build a bird cage? So then they pick one or the other and then they use simple materials. They work through like a design thinking where they think about their creation, they brainstorm, they have a little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really a very fun book and I'm excited that it has sold on Amazon and
Yeah, it's number three in new releases in children's party games books.
so it would be fun to do like as a party favor. I mean, it is a little bit more expensive because it's color, it's full color. But that
It's worth
also
it.
yeah, thank you. It's
Mhm.
worth it. And also it's something that you can keep and just keep, having fun with the prompts because
Or
the
like for road trips. Think about like
absolutely
for the
for road
summer
trips.
for
Yeah.
road trips, like that's like a whole activity book that they can take and it's just the book and then
Yeah.
you just need pencils and whatever else.
And
So
maybe some crayons and you're good to
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. That was a business thing that happened. And yeah. And I'm still doing I started doing my teacher podcast, but I'm changing it. It's just been my content from Readers in the Making. So it's my One Tired Teacher podcast, but it's been Readers in the Making. So it's my YouTube video has been also my podcast. So
Yeah.
that's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's caught up. Let's talk about New York. And do you have anything else to catch up on?
I don't think so.
All
That's
right.
really all that's happened. I mean, that's my recent. It's been like now a couple of months, so I'm like, I don't know what else has been happening.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right.
we went to New York.
Went to New York.
We saw Hugh Jackman.
Yay! We saw you, Jackman. Oh, that was the whole reason we went to New York.
Yeah.
But we had, I mean, the whole trip I thought was great. But Hugh Jackman, I really, I mean, I have like loved him since it's been at least 20 years
Yeah.
because he was in a movie with Ashley Judd called Someone Like You, I think it was called. And he was so cute. And it was like then on. And then all the Wolverine movies and The Greatest Showman and all these different things. So he did like a performance. It was just about Hugh Jackman. It was
Hmm.
all of the songs that he's done in previous things. I went to see The Music Man with Nanny, and we were on the front row. And I gasped when I realized he was on stage. I was like, and everyone in the theater was like looking at me, and he looked right at me, winked and smiled, and continued on. And I was like, oh my gosh, I actually bawled. after we walked out of that play. I just cried. In this play, I didn't cry, but I did get so I look like a child. I didn't realize I looked like that. You were taking video of me,
It was
and
really fun to watch you for sure.
I was like clapping. I know the man
Annie
next.
and I were like looking at each other like like look how cute. Like it was just like sweet to like watch. Like it was like pure joy is what it
Yeah.
was.
It did. It felt like pure joy. I don't think I have been that happy. I don't even remember. It was just such a good feeling. And I don't know why. It wasn't like anything was happening to me, but it was just like, I don't know. I mean, I follow him on
I
Instagram.
understand. I mean, like that's that's kind of how I felt like with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like when I saw Taylor Swift, it was like just like that pure like oh, like you've connected with somebody for so long
Yeah.
and like you've watched their career grow into what it is and then you get to like witness like them in their glory and you're like there's a part of you that's like I'm so proud of you. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
look at where you've come and also like I'm so glad and honored like that I get to witness it like in person. So
Yeah.
it's definitely and it's like it's an energy thing too. Like
Oh,
his energy was like just like he was excited and ready to
yeah.
be there and like that was really cool.
It was very infectious.
Yeah.
And then when he sang when he was like he's playing a Neil Diamond impersonator in a movie coming up with Kate Hudson. And I was like, I loved Neil Diamond as a kid. I used to play his records when I was little and in like sixth and seventh grade and just pretend like just sing and pretend like I was on stage with Neil Diamond. So as soon as he started singing Song Blue and had that American vest on, I just was like, oh, I started crying. I was like, oh my God. It was like I don't even know how to describe it. It was just so exciting. And then after it was over, you left early to go stake out some like territory for like when he comes out afterwards because he's
Yeah.
is known to do that. And oh my gosh, that was crazy. So I get out there. First of all, we couldn't find you. We were like walking around the whole entire Radio City Music Hall. And it was like a mob of people. And I don't do well in a mob of people. I was getting
Yeah.
and then Nanny, and I'm like, come on, and it was just so then I get to you and you yank me in, and then you're like, I'm gonna push you. And I was like, you're gonna push me? Because I
Well, and I
was
knew you
right
were gonna
there.
not like that in the moment. In my head, I had decided that I was just gonna be okay with you temporarily being annoyed or upset with me as for the later payoff of you getting to be like close to him or get a picture or whatever it was gonna be. So I was like, I'm just gonna prepare myself a little bit for her to be like anxiously frustrated with me about the pushing and the close to people and the mobs. And then later on, she's gonna be grateful for
Yeah.
this.
And I should have we waited for so long that my feet started hurting, my back started hurting, I was sweating. Um, I got scared. So because I was right there, I could have reached out and touched his arm and I got scared. I'm like, I don't want to be a weird stalker lady that touches him without permission. And but I wish that I had been like, can we take a picture? Because I know he would have. I
Yeah.
watched him do it in the during the show, and I just know that he would have. And I just got super scared. And then this lady had her hand right in front of my face with her sign, and I pushed her hand away.
Yeah.
And then I hear you go
Yeah, because she was
behind
like
me.
basically hitting you, and I was like, I'm literally gonna push you to the ground if you don't move your hand.
You were so funny. You were like so aggressive, and I was like, oh my
I've
God.
just been in those
Yeah.
situations a lot now at this
Yeah.
point. Like,
I
I
know.
mean,
Yeah.
I did like I used to go to Playlist Live, which was like a convention
I
like where
remember.
you get, like
Hmm.
YouTubers and stuff. And when I first ever went, I had that feeling of like being so scared.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like you're like looking at like somebody that you have seen on a screen for so long
And they're
that it's
that
like
close to you.
you're like starstruck and you feel like you can't speak. But I remember when I had gone for the first time, I went with my friend at the time, and she was like, you just kind of have to like go. Like you like have to make yourself go. And once like I got past that barrier with like the first person, then I was like, okay. Because like then it was like they were expecting that. Like they had that's why they were there was to
Yeah.
meet people. So like
Yeah.
when you're in situations like that, you have to like make yourself like push past it just to get there because like the payoff is what they are expecting
Is
you
what
to do
they're expecting. Yeah.
anyways. Yeah.
And so I wish that I wish I had been a little bit more aggressive and asked for that and spoken up because I got really scared. I didn't even get to catch his eye and I was like, oh, and he went by like our area kind of fast. He was so
Yeah.
slow in that one across the way. And I was like, stop. Like the
Yeah.
one girl that was talking to him, I'm like, wait, everyone needs to get a chance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's silly. So and if you hadn't been there, I would have left. Like I kept turning around and you're like, no.
Well, because I was like, we're not gonna leave because you had told me about when you had waited when you were there for the Music
We
Man
didn't wait. We
and then you
left.
left.
We should have
Yeah.
waited. He came out. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, this is not gonna be one of those situations. Like, I got up and like hauled ass to this barricade so that we would have a spot. Like, we're not leaving. Like, he's coming out. So, especially because I know what to look for too with like if they're
Yeah.
actually gonna come or not. And like his security was there and there was police officers, and I was like, if he wasn't coming, they wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be standing there like waiting for that. So I was like, he's definitely coming. It's just a matter of when. So I was like, we're not leaving. Like, your feet will bleed until we wait for him to
Yeah,
come
they
out.
felt like they were going to, and I felt like I was peeing, like that, like I was just dripping
Yeah.
sweat. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is terrible, but it was really cool, and I was on a high after that.
Yeah.
I was wide awake, and it was like what time? Like
It
midnight
was
by the
late.
time,
It was
yeah.
like, I think it was like 10:30, but then by the time we left, it was probably like 11:30, 11:45.
It was late, yeah. And I was stayed awake till I think like 2 o'clock in the morning. I could not go to sleep. Part of it was I had some of your Coke. And so I was like on caffeine that I don't even drink caffeine anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could not go to sleep. And then I stayed on that high and I was so tired on Sunday when we went for brunch. I was so tired, but I'm like, and even like I went to a drama bookstore by myself and you guys did your thing. And then I came back to the hotel and I actually texted both you and Nanny to see what you were doing. And neither one of you responded. And so I'm like,
I was probably sleeping.
yeah, I'm not going to just sit here in New York. I'm going to go walk around. And I mean, I've been like, this is probably like the 18th or 19th time. I
Yeah.
can't believe how many times I've been to New York. I
That's how I
actually,
feel too. At this point, I'm like, man, I've been a lot.
yeah, it's a
Like when people
crazy,
go, they like ask me where to go. And I'm like, I
yeah.
actually have some suggestions for you.
Yeah. It's a crazy, yeah, I know. I did that too. It's like I won't recommend the restaurant we went to on the last night, but anyway,
If you like mac and cheese, I would recommend it because
or
I
a good
had
ice
the
cream
best
sandwich.
mac and cheese. It was so good.
Or a yummy ice cream sandwich, that's the place to go.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went walking and I went to different bookstores and that was really fun too. Like I just I really enjoyed it. But I was in such a good mood. I'm like nothing is going to bring me down and that lasted for like a week. Like I
Yeah.
felt that way. I'm like everything that's going on in the world, everything's fine. I got to see Hugh Jackman. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I did come down, down, down. I was like, oh man, but it was good.
Yeah. We had the best food when we were there.
Yeah, we
I,
had really good food.
the
Felt the fire.
French toast,
Oh,
I miss
I don't
that
even know the
French
name of
toast.
that restaurant. I need to write that down
I
because that's
have
something to go back
a
to.
picture of it. It's like
Okay,
Haven
good.
Rooftop. It's like, I think that's what it's called.
Haven?
Haven. Mm-hmm.
Haven Rooftop. Okay.
It's like in a little boutique hotel, but like the French toast, literally, it looked like a square brick that they put on your plate, and the outside was like crunchy with like
Gosh, it was so good.
cinnamon sugar, and then like you cut into it, and it was so fluffy and soft inside. Oh, it was so
And it
good.
had a blueberry, like,
Yeah, it had
oh
like this
gosh,
like cream cheese blueberry like
so good.
filling, and it was
It
delicious.
was delicious.
I would go back strictly for that.
Yeah, me too, for sure. And also, we ended up going to a play on Broadway
Oh,
that
so
Nanny
good.
picked that was so good. And
Mhm.
Juliet, which I thought was adorable. I would totally see it again. I want to see it again. I
Yeah,
love the music. I've been listening to the soundtrack since we got home. I just I think it is such a fun
yeah,
show.
it was really
So
good.
yeah, it was good. So it was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I got back and I was like, I am very tired.
I was still on my Hugh Jackman high for a bit and
Yeah,
then I got tired. It's just been this past week that I'm like, Whew.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
did.
had no idea what to expect with Hugh Jackman because I kind of just like tagged along at the last minute. Like the plans were that you and Nanny were gonna go, and I was like, I want to come. And I didn't know that it was just like a Hugh
Hugh
Jackman
Jackman. Yeah.
show. Like I thought we were seeing like The Greatest Showman. Like that's what I thought.
So
And
when he said, if you came here for this, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. I realized it once we like got there. And I also like wasn't 100% sure because I was like I wasn't seeing anything. And it was probably the day before because it said like live from New York with love or whatever, Hugh Jackman. And that's when I was like, okay, it's not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But I was
It's
it's
Hugh
not like I
Jackman.
was like, oh, I'm bummed. Like it was still a really great show.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't I had no idea like
Yeah.
what to expect. To me, I was like, I'm just along for the ride. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we had good seats. I mean, we were like in row
Yeah.
22.
Mhm.
Um, if you hadn't come, then we might have been closer. Uh, just kidding. I'm just kidding. It was so the fact that he went into the audience though, I was like, oh man. When I
Yeah.
was at the Music Man, I would have been right there.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, it was great. Anyway, all right. So I think we thoroughly caught up.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right. Well, I mean, this was kind of a long episode too.
All right. Well, I like longer episodes, so I
Yeah,
think it's fine.
I do too. All right. Well, until next time,
We will see you in 2 weeks. Or
2 weeks.
you can go back and listen to us whenever you want, but
Yeah,
a
that's
new
true.
episode will be out in 2 weeks.
See you then.
Bye.